My name is Christine Gillum, and today my lesson is about one of my favorite things. You're right, it's the alphabet. The reason why I like the alphabet so much is because I know that knowing the letters of the alphabet and the sounds they make is the most important building block of learning to be a good reader. One of the ways you can learn the alphabet is through alphabet books. I brought several. There's the ABC book by Dr. Seuss. It's full of great pictures and lots of fun rhymes. Here's the underwater alphabet book. And in this book, you can learn a lot about things that are under the sea and letters and their sounds. And the beetle alphabet book. You can learn about insects and beetles and the letter sounds. But today, I brought a new alphabet book that I just got, and I have really enjoyed it, so I want to share it with you. You don't need anything but your good listener skills and the desire to become a better reader for this lesson today. This book is by Mike Lester, and it is called A is for Salad. Let's get started. A is for salad. B is for Viking. C is for hot dog. What? There's something wrong with my alphabet book? A isn't for salad? Oh, A is for apple. You're right. But there is something in the picture on this page that starts with an A. What is eating the salad? That's right. It's an alligator. On this page that says B is for Viking, who is wearing the Viking hat? That's right. It's a beaver. B is for beaver. And B is for bed. On this page, C is not for hot dog. It's for the eating the hot dog. That's right. C is for cat. Let's make sure we pay close attention to the picture clues in this book so we can learn the letter sounds. D is for remote control, isn't it? No, D is for, that's right, D is for duck. E is for pajamas, or the elephant wearing the pajamas. Also, E is for egg. F is for soup. Oh no. It's for the frog eating the soup, and F is also for fox. G is for soccer. Everybody knows that's wrong. G is for goat. The goat is playing soccer. H is for pizza, or not. H is for horse, who's eating a pizza, and of course, H is for hat. I is for pancakes. No, I is not for these pancakes. I is for this iguana that is getting ready to eat the pancakes. I is for iguana. J is for hats. Are you sure? You're right. J is not for hats. J is for these underwater animals wearing the hats. J is for jellyfish. J is also for jam. K is for doctor. Or not. K is for the kangaroo. The doctor is in his pouch. K is also for key. L is for hair dryer. L is for lion. L is also for ladybug. M is for cowboy boots. Or is it for this animal that some people don't recognize because they don't live around here? M is for moose. M is also for monkey. N is for lunch. No. N is for this animal that someone made up that lives in the ocean and has a horn like a unicorn. It's called a narwhal. So N is for narwhal and N is for number 9. O is for bow ties. See all the bow ties in the picture? What animal is wearing all those bow ties? That's right, it's an ostrich. O is for ostrich, and another animal you know, O is for octopus. P is for roller skates. I'm sure of that. Actually, P is for the penguin who's wearing the roller skates. P is also for paints. I can't figure out what Q is for. Can you? It's way down here at the bottom of the picture. A very small bird called a quail. Queen is for quail. Q is for quail, and it's also for, that's right, I already said Q is for queen. R is for bowling. No, R isn't for bowling. R is for this animal. That's right, this is a rabbit. R is also for ring. S is for tennis. Or not. S is not for tennis. S is for this snake who is playing tennis. S is also for socks. T is for polka dotted underpants. Of course not. P is not for polka dotted underpants. It's for tiger. T is for tiger, and this tiger is wearing polka dotted underpants. T is for tiger. U is for go fish. That's a card game. No, you're right. Go fish doesn't start with U, but unicorn does. U is for unicorn. It's also for umbrella. V is for wiggly worm. No, V is not for wiggly worm. V is for this mother animal and her baby. What animal do you think that is that starts with V? It's a vulture. Sometimes you can see vultures going around in circles, flying in circles in the sky. They're waiting for their dinner on the ground. So next time you see a bird's circling in the sky, maybe 2 or 3 of them together, you're probably seeing vultures. V is also for vase. W is for birthday cake, but it's not. It's for this animal eating the birthday cake. What kind of animal is that? It's a walrus. W is also for wagon. This page says X and Y are not important letters. Never use them. What do you mean X and Y are not important letters? Of course they're important letters. If we didn't have the letter X, how could we have the word X-ray? X is for X-ray. If we didn't have the letter Y, how would we have the word yo-yo? Y is for yo-yo. So obviously, X and Y are very important letters, and good readers use them every single day. So don't forget about X and Y. I'll bet you know what's next. The author says that Z is for the end. Is Z for the end? Of course not. Z is not for the end. It's the end of this book. But Z is for, that's right, we all know that Z is for zebra. We've done the whole alphabet together. I've had a lot of fun showing you this funny book called A is for Salad. But we know A is for alligator and A is for apple. I hope you try to find some alphabet books in your local library, maybe at school, maybe at home you have some alphabet books that you could practice the letters and the sounds that they make at home. Hey, you could even make your own alphabet book. You could get paper and a pencil and some crayons, and you could make your own pages with all the letters of the alphabet and all the different pictures that you can think of for each letter. That would be a very fun way to practice the alphabet at home. You can also practice the alphabet by looking for words on magazines and books and food packages on the internet, on signs out on the road, and practicing the letter sounds. It was great seeing you again today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. I'm Christine Gillum. Remember, practice reading every single day. It was good to see you again, but it's time to say so long.
Kindergarten is great at Kansas City Public Schools.
I know they have really good teachers. I know this is a great school.
They teach them stuff that I thought my kids would never be able to know at the age of 5.
Since deciding to send our kiddos to a neighborhood school, we've become even more of a part of our community.
Now is the time to enroll your future kindergartner for the new school year. Visit enrollkc.org today.
Hello, my name is Miss Rivers and I am the lead literacy interventionist for KCPS, and I am very happy to be with you today. Today we're going to talk about vowel pairs. In particular, we're going to talk about the four of some ways to spell A. Let's get started. A-E, E-A, A-I, A-Y. These are 4 of the ways that we are going to focus on spelling A. By the time you finish watching this video today, you will be able to say, spell, and read 4 ways to say A. Cake. I put this under A-E because, as you can see, A is between C and K. And at the end, the final E makes the A say its name. Cake, lake, skate. You try it. Cake, lake, skate. Very good. Now let's focus on EA. EA together sometimes makes an A sound, as in the word break, steak, and great. You try it. Break. Very good. Steak. E-A. A. Steak. Great. Very good. Now let's focus on A-I. Again, this sound makes the sound A. Now it's spelled A-I, which can be a little confusing, but with much practice, you'll get it. A-I, rain, pain, stain. You try it. Rain. Very good. Pain. Pain. Remember, here's a really important tip. Make sure you clip the sound and don't put an A. Ain, because then you'll have two A sounds. So make sure when you start off with your consonant that you don't drag it to the vowel before you get to the vowel, because it'll mess up the way that you say the word. You don't want to do that. Stain. 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 Just keep that practice. Make sure that you practice this with me. So you're going to do it now. Rain, pain, stain. I really want you to focus on not saying the vowel before you get to it. Now we're going to do our last practice today for the spelling of A. A-Y. A. Our first word under A-Y is play. Play. Away. Tray. You say it. We're going to go up to A-Y. A. Do not get confused. It does end with a Y, but these two letters paired together make the long A sound. A. Play. Away. Tray. Now, I bet that you can do this without me. So I'm going to let you practice, and you show all of your family members, your mom, your dad, grandma, friends in the neighborhood, what you've learned. Practice saying these words. Practice spelling these words. And we're going to do a little bit more practicing in a little bit. We're going to put all of this into action. We're going to read a short story, in the latter part of this video. So please stay with me. Okay, we are now going to put all of our practice into action. We're going to read a short story, but we're going to focus on how to say two sounds of A. A-I and E-A. Now, if you remember earlier, we focused on 4 spellings, but for right now, we're just going to focus on these 2. Sound symbol book. Now we're going to look at pictures, and we're going to look at the spelling of the 2 different spellings of A. We're also going to spell them as we go along as well, because if you can say it and spell it, you're going to be able to remember the different sounds and the different spellings of A. Let's get started. A-I-E-A. You notice there are pictures there for us. And we know good readers look at pictures as well. So So if you can see, I know what sound that makes, and I love watching them go by. They say, choo-choo. So I know that that's not what that picture wants me to focus on, because it doesn't make a long A sound at all. I know that this is a train. Yeah, I'm sure that's why that picture is there. Train. I want you to think about which spelling that is. We'll go back to it. Nail. That has a long A sound as well. Which spelling could that be? And then a braid. Oh, I love braids. They're so pretty. I wonder what spelling that is. We're going to find out. And then we have, that's an egg. That's not a long A sound. Oh, break. As you can see, the eggshell is not together. So they must be demonstrating the sound A in the word break. Wonder which spelling that is. We're going to find out. I guess it's not going to work. It's not a church. Fun technology. Okay, AI. Oh, it looks like train is spelled with an AI. Train. Let's spell it. T-R-A-I-N. Train. As you can see, they have AI underlined. That's because they want you to focus on the spelling AI. Remember, we're looking at two different spellings of A, long A. Okay, AI. AI. Nail. Nail is spelled with an AI spelling. Nail. Let's spell it. N-A-I-L. Nail. So far, we've learned how to spell two words. It's pretty cool. AI. Braid. Remember, I love braids. Now I can even spell it and say it without thinking twice about which A, long A, spelling it is. Braid. B-R-A-I-D. Braid. I'm learning a lot today, and so are you. It's a different spelling for the word break. We can also see that our predictions of what the word was, according to the pictures, was correct. Break. E-A. Break. B-R-E-A-K. Break. It's pretty cool. Now, that looks like that's the only spelling or picture for that particular spelling. But don't worry, we're going to practice by now saying the words in sentences. Also, remember when we were practicing saying words that were spelled with EA, we had some other words that were on there as well that you can even think about rhymed with break. So just keep that in mind as well. This is a train. Remember, they had it underlined AI. They want you to remember that that is the way you spell long A for this particular word. This is a train. Remember, this is a L. L. Remember what I said? Make sure you stop your sound for your consonant before you move on to your vowel. You do not want to say the vowel sound twice because you won't say the word correctly. This is a nail. This is a braid. Look at that. So remember, pictures help us remember what words are that we didn't know before, and they help us figure out what the words are initially. That means from the start of our reading. As soon as we see the picture, it'll help us understand what the sentence may be saying. This is a braid. And this is our final spelling for this particular part of our lesson. EA. This is to break. And they're just showing us what happens when an egg is cracked, if we are cooking, making something, or if we accidentally drop it, it will break. Okay. Now, as I said, even though that this is the only spelling in the story for EA, there were other ones that we actually practiced before. So just remember that you can make other words as well with the same spelling of long A. Make sure that you keep on practicing and remember everything that we've learned. So we're going to go through it one more time with the words, not the story, just so we can make sure it sticks, because practice makes permanent. That's what I always say. All right. A, I, and EA. Remember, those are all long A spellings. 2 of the 4 that we've practiced today. Remember that train is spelled with AI. Much like stain. We had that word earlier too. That is also spelled with an AI. Remember that we spell nail with an AI as well. AI. Nail. Because I don't want to isolate the A either, because remember, it's a long A. So I might have messed up on that. Don't do that. Nail. And we're going to spell it N-A-I-L. Remember, keep on practicing. Another way to spell, or another word to spell A-I is braid. B-R-A-I-D. Braid. And remember, E-A also can make a long A sound. Break. This is what happens when we drop an egg or we crack it so we can cook or bake with one. Break. Egg. Break. Okay. So, remember, everything you learn, you want to practice by spelling it, saying it, and reading it. Work really hard every single day, and remember that you are absolutely loved and appreciated, and we can't wait to see you in person. But in the meantime, watch us and we will continue to teach you.
The desire to create lives within each of us. From Grammy-winning producers and musicians, to NBA stars, to Navy admirals and Medal of Honor recipients, to internationally renowned artists and beloved local muralists, Paseo graduates have been creating their own success, their own history, their own legacy since 1926. Now it's your time. Create your future at Paseo Academy of Fine and Performing Arts. Learn more at enrollkc.org/Paseo.
I love Southeast because of the culture, the band program, and restorative justice.
I love Southeast because of the academics, sports, and students.
I love Southeast because of the people, the energy, and the advanced classes.
It's not alike. I love Southeast because the students here at Southeast are full of potential and they believe in achieving anything.
We are Southeast. We stand shoulder to shoulder.
Join the Southeast family. Enroll today.
morning, everyone. This is Miss Lu again, and this is Chinese for Level 2 students. So today, we're going to continue talk about 运动 sports. Okay, so to begin with, like usual, we're going to do a review of the things we learned last time. 你喜欢什么运动？你喜欢什么运动？ For the vocabulary we learned last time, 跑步游泳踢足球打排球还有滑雪 Okay, so those are the vocabulary we learned last time, and today we're going to continue to learn another 5 vocabulary about sports. And our goal is still I can talk about what sport I like. And things you need, like usual, is your notebook and a pencil to take notes. So let's get started. The vocabulary for today. First, 你会打网球吗？你会打网球吗？ So, like usual, you don't need to take notes now. We're going to take notes together. So now focus on the pronunciation together with me. 你会打网球吗？打网球 Play tennis 打网球。你会打篮球吗？你会打篮球吗？打篮球 So 打篮球 Play basketball. 你会打橄榄球吗？你会打橄榄球吗？打橄榄球 So 橄榄球 football. 打橄榄球 Play the football. 你会打棒球吗？你会打棒球吗？打棒球 Play baseball. And then the last vocabulary for today. 你会摔跤吗？你会摔跤吗？摔跤 is wrestling. Okay, so the 5 vocabulary words for today. After me. 打网球打篮球打橄榄球打棒球摔跤 In a sentence, asking 你喜欢什么运动？你喜欢什么运动？ So what sports do you like? 你喜欢什么运动？ If you like, play the tennis. 我喜欢 I like 打网球。你喜欢什么运动？我喜欢打篮球。你喜欢什么运动？我喜欢打橄榄球。你喜欢什么运动？我喜欢打棒球。你喜欢什么运动？我喜欢摔跤。Okay, so remember last time we did a memory activity? 画画 So I'm going to say out a word in Chinese and I would like you to draw a picture about it. Just a very simple picture. See if you can remember the vocabulary. Okay, so a quick review of the 5 words first. 打网球 play tennis. 打篮球 play basketball. 打橄榄球 play football. 打棒球 play the baseball. And then we have 摔跤 wrestling. So the first one I would like you to 画 to draw. I would like you to draw 打篮球打篮球 So which one is 打篮球打篮球打篮球 Ready? 打篮球 is this one. Okay? 打篮球 play basketball. 打篮球 The next one 摔跤摔跤摔跤 Which one is 摔跤摔跤摔跤 is this one. Okay? 摔跤 wrestling. Do you get this one correct? And then let's try last one. We'll try 打橄榄球打橄榄球打橄榄球 Which one is 打橄榄球打橄榄球 is very popular in America 打橄榄球 So 打橄榄球 is ready? Which one? 打橄榄球 This one. Okay? 打橄榄球 play football. So these are the vocabulary of today. And now let's take notes together. Write down the characters for this. So this one, 打网球打网球打网球 play tennis 打网球打 So this radical, remember this radical has something to do with hand. This is the hand radical. And then 横竖钩打打 and then 网球竖横竖钩撇捺 okay 网 and then 球 Right, the king radical and then 横竖钩点点点点点打网球 play tennis 打网球 Next one 打篮球打篮球打篮球 play basketball 打篮球 So 打 the same character 篮球 You will write the bamboo radical Remember the bamboo radical And then 竖竖撇横点竖横竖竖竖横 Okay 篮 And then 球 Write the king radical Then 横竖钩点点点点点 The same character And as you observe from the two words you already just write down 打 has the meaning of hit So you hit the ball hit And then 篮 has the meaning of basket So the basketball the basket And 球 has the meaning of ball So play basketball Hit the basketball 打篮球 Next one We have 打橄榄球 So play the football 打橄榄球打橄榄球打橄榄球打橄榄球打 the same character 打 eat. Okay, 打 and then 赶 you write the wood radical, the wood radical. 横竖 横竖竖 横横 and then 横 撇 横撇 那 赶 then 懒 横竖 the wood radical and then 竖竖 撇 横 点 竖 横竖 撇 one stroke 竖 one go and then 球 ball 球 the character for ball the same character write it by yourself 打橄榄球 play football 打橄榄球 play football okay. Next one we have 打棒球打棒球打棒球打棒球 play baseball 打 the same character 打 then 棒 write the wood radical then from top to bottom 横横横撇捺横横竖棒球 the same character for ball write it by yourself 球 character for ball 打棒球 play baseball and then we have wrestling the one for wrestling 摔跤摔跤摔跤摔跤 wrestling write the hand radical 点横横折横折点点点点点横竖摔 and then 跤 write the foot radical the feet radical then 点横点点撇捺摔跤 wrestling 摔跤 wrestling okay so let's do a review together 你喜欢什么运动？你喜欢什么运动？ So what sports do you like? 我喜欢 if you like play tennis 我喜欢打网球我喜欢打篮球我喜欢打橄榄球我喜欢打棒球我喜欢摔跤 Okay, so above are the vocabulary the 5 sports vocabulary we learned for today and like usual I would like you to leave you a homework which is write the characters for 3 times and try to recognize them okay so that's conclude our lesson for today and I'll see you next week in World Languages.
I chose manual because it's challenging and fun and it can help me with college.
I chose manual because I wanted to get a jump start in my career with culinary arts.
I chose manual to acquire skills I'd use in real life.
I chose manual because I want to be an ER doctor and be an EMT is my first step.
Kickstart your future today at Manual Career and Technical Center. Manual is open for all 11th and 12th grade students in both Kansas and Missouri. Learn more today at enrollkc.org/manual or call 816-418-5200.
Welcome to Homeroom. I'm Kansas City Public Schools Social Studies Coordinator Paul Turner. Today we're going to talk about Open Up the West. Why it was important, basically who benefited from it, and basically who suffered from Open Up the West. Again, you'll need a pencil and paper, and ready to learn. Today's objective, we're going to explain the causes and the effects of the settlement in the West from 1877 to 1898. Why was this important? But again, we're going to talk about the positive changes, the progress, the growth, and the negatives of opening up the West. Who was moving to the West? Who was not moving to the West? And why were they moving? Why was it important for these people to basically migrate in the West? And did America fulfill its dream of immigrants? Basically, the immigrants, when they came, did they fulfill the American dream? These are all important questions that we have to answer throughout this lesson. So, we're going to start off. 1862 was a huge year. Again, we got the Civil War going on. We had all this other stuff going on. And again, a lot of these cities are basically just sprawling out, right? You got a lot of these new immigrants coming to the United States trying to vilify this American dream, correct? But they didn't have land in basically these big cities. So you saw a lot of these Irish immigrants who were coming to the United States basically decided with this Homestead Act where they were giving away free land, 160 acres. What can you do with 160 acres a day, right? They can go basically make these farms nice, basically plantable, right? And they can live this American dream. And again, the high prices of wheat, people wanted bread, right? So wheat was high right now. So the price of wheat, so I go there, basically go cut some grass down, make some wheat, I can make a lot of money. That was all good. So think about this time frame. From 1877 to 1898, you have over 500,000 families moving to the West. And when I say the West, I'm talking about modern day places like Oklahoma, Kansas, Wyoming, places like that, right? Like Nebraska too, because these places are newfound land. If I'm an immigrant, I can make a lot of money off this 168 if I farm it right. And remember, a lot of these immigrants are coming from farming territories from Europe. Okay, we're going to talk about Frederick Jackson Turner. He was a historian, and he defined this American West as a rugged, a rough area, right? And he came up with this thesis. For America to reach its greatness, it had to basically take this land and basically create it and cultivate it, right? But it's also going to do harm because it's going to harm the natural beauty of basically cultivating this land. What you did. So, why would I go to the West? Maybe I'm looking for something different, right? You remember, there's really no safety valve in American society. So there's no upward mobility, correct? So I'm living in these cities. It's a rough area to live in. Again, I have to deal with, pollution. I have to deal with traffic. I have to, like the traffic like we do today. But, these tenement buildings where there's a lot of people. So if I move west, I can get 168 free acres of land from the federal government. So this is huge. Why people would want to go west. That's one of those push and pull factors, right? That we talked about earlier. And again, it was mostly immigrants who were heading out there. Irish, right? The Germans started coming over. This is where they were landing, right? So this provided these guys ample opportunity to live that land, live off the agriculture, what they were doing back in their home countries. Again, if I'm in the city though, I have industry that was keeping me afloat. I have basically, I'll come over here, my cousin's already over here, he can hook me up with a job in one of these manufacturing plants, right? So the city provided people like a safety net for them. In the West, to provide that, this sense of excitement. I can build my own. I can create my own wealth in American society. I can basically create my own American dream if I moved out west. We start talking about California, we're going to talk about the gold rush and all that good stuff. That's one of those pull factors to the west. Because think about it. I can go find some gold and I can become rich overnight. Wow, that's really interesting. So, maintaining the beauty of the West. There's a lot of corporate interest in moving west. Because you have these waterways, you have these ponds. They want to basically own those rights. Then you're going to see the start of conservation movement. Okay? If I own a farm, I still need water, right? We have to understand that the West is rugged. It's tough during this time frame. So I have to build my own basically way to get water to my land. But if I'm corporate, I have money to get to that land, right? So I can basically bring water in. So you have these corporate interests versus basically these small town farmer interests. So you start seeing this conservation movement coming about. They wanted to protect the beauty of these lands, right? So, let's talk about the National Park movement. 1872, Yellowstone basically becomes the first national park in the United States, right? By 1890, you have Yosemite and Sequoia, basically in the west, basically become these federal protected lands. So again, we wanted to protect the beauties of the west, right? Frederick Jackson Turner's thesis was correct. You had to tame the west basically for America to reach its greatness. He was correct on that. He was absolutely correct on that. That thesis basically is what basically helped push us forward, basically become this great, mighty power that we are. Alright? So, do we really need more farmers? By the time of 1880s, 1890s, we had some things going on. You had new technologies coming about. You started seeing like the tractors, the plows, all those good stuff basically becoming mechanized. Again, we're going through a technology revolution during this time frame. So again, that affected farming. So do we need as many farmers as basically these 500,000 families that moved west? Think about that question. Then you have basically these farmers who relied on a single crop. That's what damaged most of these families from becoming these big-time farmers. Some of these farmers have been farming these lands today from the 1870s, 1860s, right? A lot of these families lost everything because they were single-crop farmers. That's one thing that they did when they moved out there because that's what they were used to, basically in the old country. If I'm coming from Ireland or Irish, if I'm Irish, I'm used to doing the potato, right? So that's all I really know. If I'm coming from the American South, I might try to do cotton. That's all I know, right? So a lot of these families, they didn't know about this thing about, diversifying your crops. How about crop rotation? They didn't know about this stuff. So when they went out there, literally they lasted about 2 to 5 years and they were done. They were done with farming because they didn't know how to basically do diverse crops and basically take care of their land. Then you had price drops by the 1890s. That affected farming a lot. A lot of farmers realized that it's not economical to basically become farmers, right? They realized that all this crops and all this time that they're putting in the land, they were losing money on. They had high debts. They had to pay these debts back to the bank. So banks was basically started calling their loans on some of these lands. So some of these farmers went bankrupt, right? Then we forgot about this thing called droughts. If I don't have any water, guess what? My plants are not growing, correct? My land is basically tough. It's going to be a rough year for me. Then we have to start dealing with things like grasshoppers and other things. So it was rough being a farmer from this time frame. Let's do a knowledge check. Can we explain the causes and effects of settlement in the West from 1877, 1898? Let's think about that. The Homestead Act of 1862 basically was enticing for people to move out to the Midwest and out to the West, right? They provided them opportunity to build wealth. Excitement. You remember? I can become rich on my own. I don't need my cousin to basically give me a job at the factory in the city. This all became great opportunities for these people to move out west. Alright, so failure to launch. Again, 1880s and 1870s, you have these huge grasshopper plagues. Basically, if I'm planting like beans or something else, beans or corn, the grasshoppers are coming to eat them up. Every summer, it happened numerous of times in the summertime. Then you had thousands of farm failures. Basically, people went bankrupt. So people basically lost everything that they had. Then many blamed on the railroads because railroad prices were high. The railroads knew they could take advantage of these farmers. Then you had high taxes too. Many of these local governments basically had high taxes on these farmers. So they decided to get political. A lot of these organizations basically came together and created these cooperatives. The Grange movement was one of the first ones. Their ultimate goal was to improve lives of farmers. Basically, they had over 800,000 members, and this was in the 1860s and 1870s. Then you had other movements such as the Greenback movement. Basically, they want to reform basically the way that we replenish our money. You have the Farmer Alliance. These people was basically a social organization. Basically help farmers improve their lives and create these social organizations for that to happen. And create political organizations too. Then you have the Color Farmer Alliance. Basically, they have the same mission as the Farmer Alliance. So you start seeing these organizations were formed. These populist organizations knew that they need political clout to build upon basically this movement that was growing. So let's do the we do. Let's answer some of these questions. In what ways can change, progress, and growth be positive, negative? Again, we talked about open up the West, right? So when we open up the West, it provides people opportunity. Positive, allow people to basically get rich, right? Some of the negatives, we had over thousands and thousands of these bank failures. Who was moving west and who was not? And why were they moving? Again, you had immigrants moving west, right? You had these people allowed them to do what they did in their own country, basically when they moved west. All right? Who's not moving west? Well, let's talk about who was not moving west. Basically, if I'm basically a rich guy on the East Coast, I'm not moving west. I might have a business out west, but I'm not moving. You remember the railroad provided ample opportunity for them to get out west, right? Did America fulfill the dream of immigrants? In some ways it did. You remember some people were able to basically live on this land from 1860 till today, still farming. You talk about places like North Dakota, South Dakota. Some of those families have been basically farming that land since those times. So we're talking about close to 140 years of some of these families basically doing this work for that same land. So now we're in the now you do. I want you to brainstorm some ideas of American history. How is the opening of the West important going forward in American society? Think about that. I want you to think about it. Let's start foreshadowing and basically start thinking about what's going forward in American society. Who is benefiting from moving west? Who is benefiting from that? We talk about the immigrants, right? What other groups are benefiting from moving west? Railroads, right? Did the average American gain wealth from moving west? Answer that question. My name is Paul Turner, Social Studies Coordinator, Kansas City Public School. I'll see you guys next week.
Kindergarten is great at Kansas City Public Schools.
I know they have really good teachers. I know this is a great school.
They teach them stuff that I thought my kids would never be able to know at the age of 5.
Since deciding to send our kiddos to a neighborhood school, we've become even more of a part of our community.
Now is the time to enroll your future kindergartner for the new school year. Visit enrollkc.org today.